We've been talking about the issue of fake meat and why it's such an important topic to beef producers. Here to shed a little more light on the subject is Alisa Harrison. She's Senior Vice President of Global Marketing and Research for NCBA, and Solorio. She's Senior Executive Director of Brand Marketing and Communications. So I guess I would ask you to begin with, why do you think we're seeing so much interest and attention on this fake meat?
Well, I think there's a couple of reasons. Number one, we have some new companies out in the marketplace that have introduced some new products that they say replicates beef's great taste and the touch and the feel of it. Some of the chemical formulations that they put together, they think more replicates a true beef patty. Okay. Also, I've seen some companies who are going for an IPO, and they're out there putting a significant amount of marketing dollars into getting some publicity. And then you couple that with a lot of the issues that we're talking about as a country, particularly climate change. We see some companies out there that are trying to promote these products as being more sustainable than beef, and obviously that's not true, but I think that all of that combined is creating a tremendous amount of attention on some of these new products that are out there today.
You know, I'm assuming that most of the people watching our show are probably not big consumers of those products, but you have your finger on the pulse of consumer trends every day. How is the average consumer responding or accepting these products?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think you can still see that there's still the same number of meat eaters today than there were a year ago before these products started going in there. Overwhelmingly, 94 to 95% of consumers in the U.S. eat animal protein. Okay. And the numbers who say they're vegans or vegetarians is really very low, between 3 and 5%. But what we are seeing is that consumers are curious. They're trying some of these products. But our research is showing is that they may be trying it, but they're still eating the same amount of beef, chicken, pork, and other, fish and that sort of thing. So the key takeaway there is that they're not replacing beef, they're not replacing chicken, they're just trying it out, just any other new consumer product that would come on there. And when you look at the millennials, it's about the same. They might be trying it, but they're still eating about the same amount of beef, chicken, and pork as the rest of the consumers are.
And so what kind of research has NCBA as a contractor to the Beef Checkoff done in the area of alternative protein?
The research area that NCBA conducts, both in consumer research as well as technical research, is pretty extensive, and it really is the foundation of all of our consumer marketing programs, all of our, our issues management and media relations program. Okay. So we do a tremendous amount of consumer research and market intelligence research. What's going on in the marketplace in food service and retail? But we also spend a tremendous amount of time and resources on nutritional research and sustainability research, and so those and product quality. So we want to make beef is higher quality today than it ever has been. We're producing more beef with fewer animals than ever before, and the protein, the nutritional value of the protein that you get in beef is very high. All of that is backed up by sound science that the Beef Checkoff has paid for and is conducted by NCBA. So we take all of that and put it into a melting pot of sort to try to come up with the best programs to talk to the consumer about a variety of issues.
And those are great messages. I guess, Susan, I would ask you, tell us a little bit about some of the work you've done in addressing these products as part of your Beef Checkoff work.
We've been doing it in a really smart and fun and edgy way that really fits with the Beef It's What's for Dinner brand. So when we relaunched the Beef It's What's for Dinner brand about 2 years ago, we came up with a creative platform that is nicely done beef. So for example, today we have a series of different ads, display ads for example, that are placed on social media and digital websites that say, nicely done beef, you've proven that meat substitutes are just that, substitutes. These have been seen by millions of people around the country. We even placed these on point of purchase on Instacart, which is an online grocery shopping platform, hoping that we would inspire more beef purchases and maybe fewer of these other meat substitute purchases. In addition to that, we've got a series of videos that are playing, and when a consumer right now Googles for something like Beyond Beef Burger, for example, they could get served up an advertisement from Beef It's What's for Dinner that then directs them back to beefitswhatsfordinner.com to see a real beef recipe. So since we started those Google search advertisements in June, we've had more than 75,000 impressions of those ads, in addition to the millions of impressions that we've had through other digital and social platforms.
That's great, and I love the whole nicely done beef. That is edgy, and it's cute, and it's memorable. That's outstanding. Tell me this, from a retail and food service standpoint, what are you doing to educate those audiences about alternative protein as they compare to beef?
Yeah, we've had a very heavy focus on our retail and food service partners. As you mentioned, obviously, they're the ones that are selling bring these alternative proteins to consumers, but as Alisa mentioned, they're still selling a tremendous amount of beef. So what we really want to do is make sure that they realize that beef is still their most valuable protein from a sales perspective, from a sustainability perspective, and from a sustenance perspective. So just in August, actually, we did a webinar for business decision makers, retailer and food service companies around the country. We had more than 350 business decision makers join. They heard from two experts, both on NCBA's checkoff division as well as NCBA's policy division. So a great opportunity to really utilize the subject matter expertise that NCBA has as a contractor and not as a contractor. And then we also blanketed the media environment for those business decision maker publications, Winsight Grocery Business, Shelby Report, and made sure that an infographic that we had created that showed the sustainability, the sales, as well as the nutritional perspective was out there amongst those business decision makers.
Outstanding. Well, I'm very impressed by the proactive efforts you're taking against this new entrant in the marketplace.
You know, I think it's also important to note that not only with the nicely done work that we're doing specifically on meat alternatives, our overall goal as a contractor to the beef checkoff at NCBA is to make beef the #1 protein. There are so many choices today for consumers, from beef all the way down to cricket powder. And so we have a lot more competition today. So everything we do ladders up to make beef the #1 protein, and that's including against some of these new meat alternatives that we're seeing in the marketplace.
And one last question. Can you tell us what you have in store in terms of consumer marketing efforts, especially as it relates to this alternative meat next year?
We are so excited with the direction of Beef It's What's for Dinner. Coming up in October, we're actually launching for the first time an entire series focused around beef quality assurance and bringing BQA to consumers for the first time ever. This is a follow-up to the success of our Rethink the Ranch series that we released 2 years ago that showcases the hard work of farmers and ranchers around the country. This is showcasing people that are BQA certified across the country for the first time to consumers. So we'll be running a new series of videos on our YouTube channel, on social and digital media, and for the first time, we're placing those videos on connected television platforms like Hulu. So as a consumer is streaming some of their favorite TV shows, they might see one of our Beef It's What's for Dinner ads. And then as we head into the holidays, we're also very excited. We have a special treat in store. I am sure, Kevin, you and your family watch the Yule log as you're opening holiday gifts. Well, this year for you, we have the beef drool log, which shows a prime rib roast slowly roasting over an open flame for 2.5 hours. So we're encouraging people to slow down and savor the holidays with beef this year.
You can bet your bottom dollar we will have one of those prime ribs in our oven on Christmas. Thank you both for being here and for all you do to encourage consumers to choose beef.
Thank you.
Now, don't forget, you can check out the Beef It's What's for Dinner website for a great interactive experience. You'll find things like recipes, information on beef cuts, and nutritional information at this one-stop shop for all things beef.